fact that they're black and we're black, and we were like, is this healthy for me? You know what I'm saying? Decide, making a decision. Is this healthy for me? Is this something that I should be ingesting into my mind? Should I be watching this shit? Should I be eating this food? Should I be doing should I be doing these things? Do they help my life or do they harm my life? What is the biggest lesson you learned from being a person of color? Biggest lesson or lessons? Biggest lesson of being a person of color, especially black, that you are feared in ways that you could not even imagine. But that fear is your power. You know what I mean? It's all about what you choose to do with said power, because no matter where you go, especially on your size, a tall black man, you know, a bigger black man is looked at sometimes, I can say, as if I'm going to be combative, if you will. So they really don't know how to move with me. And then when they hear me speak so eloquently, educated and shit like that, it's like, oh, okay. I didn't know if you were like one of them and shit. You know, I've had that interaction before, and it's like I'm still one of them. I got more weapons in my arsenal than what have you been programmed to believe that we are. You know what I'm saying? It's like knowing how to carry yourself in this world and understand how some people may view you. No matter how hard you work, no matter how much you try to do the right thing, no matter how much you do everything you can to be an outstanding citizen, if you will, you are still viewed as a black person. And that's sometimes comes with a negative connotation. But I stand proudly in my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, it doesn't matter what I believe, it doesn't matter what I think, you're going to have your own opinion of me anyway, so I might as well just be me. You know what I'm saying? And it comes with, sometimes it comes with a price. Comes with a price to bear yourself, to show certain things that you grew up doing, some stuff that you come from, and may necessarily be frowned upon, if you will, depending on how these particular people that you're around. I mean, I've been through it all. You know what I'm saying? I've been the black kid who's judged from being, you know, like, you know what I'm saying, talking a certain way around black folk. I've been looked at a certain way by not being accepted by, you know, around white people, or not being accepted around like Latin folk, you know what I'm saying, or just like certain things, just different experiences throughout my life. You know what I'm saying? I've seen these things, and truthfully, we all do it. You know what I'm saying? We all do that shit, but it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different because of the history that comes behind it with white people and black people, you know what I mean? But it's interesting how that dynamic works, where we prejudge people. And, you know what I'm saying? We make judgment calls on a particular person, believing that they're going to be this way, and then it turns out it's something totally different, and it doesn't have to be set way. But like, that biggest lesson of being a person of color is that you're definitely going to be feared for just being you most of the time. And it's all about these imaginations, these nightmares that people have, that, you know, they've been programmed to believe that what black people are. And when they see you do something different than their nightmares, they're not really sure how to move with you. And then some of them try to use that as a moment to try to take advantage of you, because you don't seem as fearful as as they had hoped, or not hoped, but they anticipated you being. And it's like, that shit is still here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that energy, that ability to snap, use, you know what I'm saying, like the force that was given, you know what I'm saying, that's still there. It's about knowing when to use it, the awareness, and when you're going to use it. When is it the right time? When is it an effective time to use said thing. You know what I'm saying? They don't expect you to have emotional intelligence. They want you to just act like an animal, if you will. And no, there is the time and place for being an animal. You know what I mean? This is not. Commonly it's not the one. You know what I mean? And I pride myself on that. I pride myself on teaching myself how to manage my emotions a hell of a lot better when people say shit that I don't necessarily agree with based on race. And I've had conversations at work in regards to like prejudice statements about black people, and don't lose your shit. Just educate. That's it. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing to take offense to, but it's like, yeah, you've been misguided. You have misinformation about people from our community and actually why people do certain things that they do. But it's people that live in ignorance. You know what I mean? And it's not in a derogatory sense. They literally just don't know. So they're making these assumptions about some shit that they really don't fucking know. And another big lesson about being a person of color is like, you know what I'm saying? Trying to better yourself, you got to deal with the crabs in the barrel a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Like when people feel like y'all got the same struggle and all of that, then, you know what I'm saying, they still fuck with you. But when it feels like, you're kind of progressing in life or something like that, then the talking stops talking to you, and then it starts talking behind you. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate, but I mean, it does happen. It does happen, but it's more about fear. Truth be told, it has nothing to do with you. That's one thing I can say about being a person of color. It was programmed to be this way for us to attack our own. And all we have to do is just change the narrative, because it's not a pie situation. I can get my piece and you can get your piece. Your piece is not bigger than mine. It's my own piece. You got your own piece, and that's all we really want is peace in the end. You know what I'm saying? And I can honestly say that that's something that I had to experience. Like when you start to feel the jealousy, the envy come from your own community, and it's not like that for you. You know what I mean? It's like you're trying to push forward and uplift. And some people got their own demons that they're dealing with, and they project them onto you. That's not for you to worry about. If you have no control over a person's insecurities, it's an inside job. You know what I mean? So you gotta let the haters do what they do best, and that's hate. You know what I mean? That's what they've been born to do, and all you can do is just continue to excel, continue to ascend into your own, because it's bigger than race. You know what I'm saying? It's like coming into your own from a spiritual mindset that you're going to become something that a contribution to society in ways that may not have been seen before, or just doing your part in helping out the universe. And that's really all you can focus on. Recognizing your path, recognizing the journey that you're on. But that's just one of the bigger, it's one of the lessons I've learned from being a person of color, is that, that sometimes the envy can come from within. I've definitely experienced that. I've witnessed that on many occasions. That I'm looked at a certain way for my size. I'm looked at a certain way for being black. Again, assumptions that you do this and you do that because you're tall, you're tall or whatever, and of course you play basketball or whatever. That's what it is. It's all, like I said, it's all unconscious assumptions. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not. You know what I'm saying? But it's like piecing two together, or getting asked a question about a particular rapper. You know what I mean? As if they know that you listen to rap and whatnot. But it's nothing. It's nothing to take offense to. It's either you know the answer or you don't. But obviously these questions come up. It's like talking to an Asian person and asking them if they know Bruce Lee, or stuff like that. It shit happens. But it's just like you try to assign shit. You try to put two and two together and think they might know something about it. But as for me, like I said, as a black man in America, and the things that I've gotten to witness, I've noticed how different I'm treated once they find out that you're educated. You know what I'm saying? Like by your peers, especially like at the job. You know what I mean? By your non-black peers, how they treat you when they recognize you're educated versus when you're not. And it's not. Is it right? No, it's not right. But it's like education is like this mantle that's put down that says, hey, um, I understand a little bit more, so don't talk to me you almost treat me as if I'm half human. Like when you're not educated, you're treated as like you're not human, and then once you get educated, you're treated as if you're half human. Unfortunately, because it's still like I gotta put you a certain way just to let you know your place here. You know what I'm saying? Certain work environments that I can say that I've experienced in my life, and just recognize it, and it's not to be taken personal. It's like, okay, doesn't matter what challenge you throw above me, I'm still going to overcome this shit, and I'm built for it. That type of thing, and you just continue to grow. You continue to be your best self. Don't make yourself out to be a victim. Don't make a pity party. And yeah, there's going to be challenges. There's going to be people that are afraid of you. And truth be told, a lot of that behavior, I believe, comes from fear of the black man, and because an educated black man is a dangerous motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? On like once known about a lot of stuff that's gone on in our society to black people, you know what I'm saying, throughout the years. And when you constantly educate yourself and you see like all the programs that have been designed to try to, things that are put into our society that try to tear us down, to make us focus on shit that don't have shit to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Celebrity gossip or what have you, just getting us caught up in something, anything that prevents us from trying to build wealth, you know what I'm saying, real estate, stocks, bonds, the things that actually appreciates with value. Like any of those things to keep us, off our game. But for those that know, they know. And that's why you gotta definitely pay attention. You know what I'm saying? To my black people, pay the fuck attention. Watch what you're, you know what I'm saying? You got into your diet. Watch what watch the stuff that you're entertaining on a daily basis. This is your diet. You know what I'm saying? Like, please watch your diet and what they have us, you know what I'm saying, paying attention to on our networks, on our programming. I mean, we've been seeing it for years with BET. The programming has declined with certain things like visuals that they want to present to us throughout the years. And they used to always clown they like the Boondocks used to clown what's the girl, Deborah, they used to own or used to run BET, for the programming that she would put out. And it's the similar shit. It's like watching what programs that we that we're watching. How is it portraying black people? Are they putting us in a negative light? They're putting us in a positive light. And then how do we feel once we see that? You know what I mean? Like, do we look at that and be like, oh, well, that's how it is? Or do we separate ourselves from the fact that they're black and we're black, and we'll be like, is this healthy for me? You know what I'm saying? Decide, making a decision. Is this healthy for me? Is this something that I should be ingesting into my mind? Should I be watching this shit? Should I be eating this food? Should I be doing these things? Do they help my life or do they harm my life? That's a question, you know what I'm saying? And that's one of the biggest lessons I've learned of being a person of color is that too. It's like, what's in my diet? What's being sent out to me? What messages are being sent out to me through this television, through this cell phone, on these different websites, on these apps? What are they trying to get me to do? Am I being targeted? And to follow the matrix, you know what I'm saying, of what they want, how they want a black person to carry themselves, how they want what they want a black person to look like. And some get it, some don't. Some feel like, oh, Uncle Tom or whatever shit, you know what I'm saying? But no, it's just recognizing game as far as like how the program works here in the world with television. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shapes stuff. It gives like the stereotypes that they try to pin us into. Granted, Madea movies are funny, but if you think that that's how black people are to act in a civilized manner, you've been sadly misguided. It's entertaining, yes. It's just fun. It's funny, but like to assume that this is like a way for us to be, I don't necessarily agree with that. I respect Tyler Perry's hustle and getting people jobs and stuff like that. But let's keep it at the, obviously it's at the entertaining level. Do not take that shit to heart. Do not believe that it is okay to carry yourself in certain ways that we would see portrayed in certain movies. You know what I'm saying? That's like I've said more than one lesson, but nevertheless, these are the biggest lessons I've learned of being a person of color, and then hopefully people who are not of color, and maybe even the ones of color, are able to take heed of what's being said and just kind of ask yourself, are these things going on? Is this a figment of my imagination? Am I overlooking this shit? Do I not care because it's not me? So many questions that can be asked, but these are some of the lessons that I've learned from being a person of color. What have you done wrong for the most of your life and only recently found out the right way to do it? To live for me, right? To live for me and not somebody else. I mean, I was raised to live for, I'll say I live for my parents and what they wanted me to do with my life. I spent my whole life just trying to be, a puppet, if you will, mirror whatever it is that I could do that my parents wanted me to do so that I could receive love. You know what I mean? And what I would learn as I got older is that love was meant to be unconditional, especially from parents to child. And you don't know what you don't know. And I learned so much through the process of coming into my own once, and then having my own kid, and it's like asking myself, am I only going to love my kid if she does what I want her to do, or am I just going to love her simply because she's my kid? And I made that decision regardless of what my daughter does. Whether I agree with her decisions or not, I'm going to let her know and let her feel the fact that her father loves her unconditionally. And I don't want it to be ever be a misconception. Whatever the fuck is going on, I need my kid to know that any of my kids, you know what I'm saying, godchildren, nieces, nephews, whatever it is, I need them to know that they're loved unconditionally and that they don't have to portray themselves to be a character, because that shit catches up with you in life, man. Especially like if you've been programmed for it and you feel like that's the only way that you're going to get love is to do what people want you to do. And a lot of us have done that. A lot of us felt like the only way we're going to receive love is if we do what that person wants us to do in a relationship. And it's unfortunate to feel that way, because preference is preference. You know what I'm saying? But I will say that the courage to just be you, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that you like to do. I'll say that. I may not necessarily always agree with what you're doing and stuff like that, but having the courage to just be you. I guess it goes back to what we talked about in the last episode of attraction and love. You know what I'm saying? What I'm attracted to may not necessarily be what I love you for. And I mean, it doesn't mean I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, and what I mean by that is like, you might do some weird shit, you know what I'm saying? It might not be sexy, but I'm still gonna love you for it. You know what I mean? That's how I see it. Now, as far as like attraction goes, that's a whole, it's a whole other ball game. But on this concept of just like me learning to just embrace being myself, and finding out who myself is on a day-to-day basis. Every day I find, me is a fluid concept. You know what I'm saying? It's like learning who the fuck I'm going to be in this life. Who am I going to, what am I going to do each day? How am I going to better myself? How am I going to be the best version of myself each fucking day? that I get up. What am I going to do? What am I going to learn today that I didn't know yesterday that can be applied to me today? Like I don't hold on to yesterday as far as like who I believe I am. You know what I'm saying? It's like learning. It's like, I mean, it comes with a lot of anxiety because you're constantly doing something that challenges you. But in the end, you become this, I say, a better person for the simple fact that you decided to work on yourself. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people get up and do the same shit every motherfucking day. You know what I'm saying? They go to the same job, come home, watch the same TV shows. They don't really do much as far as like trying to better their life. They're okay with living in the matrix and just like the hamster wheel. And they see the same shit every fucking day. Every day is Groundhog's Day. And you know, no disrespect. I mean, respect how you wish to live. I know for me, I try to challenge. I just try to challenge myself every fucking day and see what I learn and you know what I'm saying, and what can I be exposed to today that will benefit me in the future, whether that be financially, whether it be mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's all taken into account when I'm trying to better myself. Yeah, but I learned that you gotta live your life the way that you want to, and just accept the fact that, and accept when you live your life the way that you want to, that it ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be for everybody, and I don't believe you were designed to do so. So it's like accepting the fact that the altitude in which you're heading, it's not going to take everybody with you. And you'd be surprised who those people are that are not going to make it. The people you thought they were going to be there forever in your life. Sometimes they, you know, you just get to, you're just going a different path. You know what I'm saying, in life. And sometimes it means that you have to go your separate ways. I mean, friends that we had in childhood, some of us don't, so we're still not in contact with them. No, love lost, no ill will or nothing like that, but different paths. And that's sometimes life does that. And it's something that we all had to learn. I would say the challenging way, the hard way, the difficult way, maybe some easy for some people. But like learning to just be you, man, like learning to find out who you are and living your own life and not doing something for the simple fact that you're black, not doing something for the simple fact that you're Christian, not doing something for the simple fact that, you know what I'm saying, you grew up in this area, not doing this for the simple fact that, you know, black people don't do that shit, or whatever bullshit that or limit that somebody tries to place upon you. You do not place that upon yourself, and you do things because you want to, not because other people want you to do it. That is something that you know, I used to do. I used to try to live for other people. I really did. I wanted to be accepted so bad. I was willing to risk everything. I was willing to have sex at an early age. I was willing to sneak girls in the house just to be accepted, to say that I was cool. I was willing to talk back to teachers. I was willing to sneak out of class. I was willing to do so many fucking things in my life, especially if it involved a girl or a woman, just to prove, just to get acceptance. And you know, that shit catches up to you in life. It really does. And like, you don't have to prove your love to anybody but you. And it took me a long time to understand that, but I finally figured it out. And once I did, I learned to simplify. You know, sometimes add means to subtract out of your life. You know what I'm saying? Add peace. And peace comes at a cost. Peace really comes at a cost. Because there are a lot of people in your life that aren't peaceful. There are some people that would love to project their insecurities onto you. There are some people that believe that you were born to serve them. And you don't owe anybody anything. They're not entitled to shit. You know what I'm saying? It's all about, what do you do for yourself? You know what I'm saying? Hold yourself, you know what I'm saying? And hold yourself accountable for your actions. And they can hold themselves for their actions. And then that's how you guys take care of each other, because you're holding yourself accountable. You got your own fair share of shit to handle. You know, no sense of taking on somebody else's shit. You were not born to take on everybody else's problems. I don't give a fuck how good you are at mental health. I don't give a fuck how good you are at relationships, human behaviors, and all that stuff. All that shit. You were not born to take on other people's shit like that. You weren't. You weren't made to do that, and it's draining. It's so fucking draining to take on unnecessary shit. There's no way you're gonna fly with all that shit weighing you down. You have to let it go. You have to let these people go. You do. You gotta let them be grown. Don't let them project their, like I said, their insecurities from childhood, and they're used to their parents, you know what I'm saying, taking care of shit. I was one person that did that very same thing. I tried to project that on to the people close to me. And, it's about being an adult, holding yourself accountable and taking on your own missions and challenges. And, it takes some of us a long time. I guess time is very, subjective, subjective and shit. So it just takes time. It really does. It just takes time sometimes to grasp that concept. But, learning to live your own life instead of living for others, it's taught me a lot. It's allowed me to pass that on to my fellow sisters and brothers, that I come across that may be suffering from the same shit, where they feel like they have to people please, or they feel like they have to do certain things to get love. They have to, instead of just knowing that they're loved just where they are. You know what I mean? And just, love for yourself. Just having that love for yourself. If you have to be able to love yourself. And it's not easy if you've been trained to do for others. It's so weird to try to do stuff for you. You feel bad doing something for yourself. And it shouldn't be that way, because you don't feel bad when you do shit for other people. You know what I mean? You're just as valued. You're just as human. You know what I'm saying? You're just as important as they are. We all are, human. And, we all got needs, and you got to take care of yourself. And my cup runneth over. You have to keep it that way. You get whatever's left. When my cup runneth over, anything that come out the cup, you can have. But I got to be full. And if I don't take care of myself, I won't take care of you. Which book or movie character do you relate to? I have a few. I know I make my own rules up against these things. They ask for one lesson, I give multiple lessons. He asked me about characters in a book or a movie. So here it goes. Number one, The Incredible Hulk. Mild-mannered individual, very calm, until pushed to a certain point. And once pushed to that point, it's hard to pull that individual down. So I would say Bruce Banner, David Banner, you know what I'm saying? Like, I relate a lot to the Incredible Hulk from Marvel. And, size-wise, it's a mentor to me, especially in the gym. That's like what I strive to have, that size, as far as like working out. But, I definitely say I can relate to the Incredible Hulk as far as like how he carried himself, wanting to be intelligent, constantly challenging systems and trying to learn new things, new ways of doing things. And then, trying his best to not lose his fucking temper when being tested by you motherfuckers, because y'all don't know how to leave the bear alone. You want to poke the bear. And so I can relate to, like the Hulk on that. Another character that I can relate to in movies is the movie Don John. And it is the lead guy, I forget his name, but he's on Third Rock from the Sun, and he played Batman. He played Robin in the Dark Knight Rises, and just a list of other movies. Joseph Levitt, I think is his name. I'm sure somebody correct me on that shit, but yeah, Joseph Levitt. His character, as far as like how he felt, he had his life right, and he's like, gotta have his porn. And for a long time, that was my life. I really did have these invisible, fictitious, imaginary relationships with these digital women, and my computer, in my phone, or wherever else I could find this shit. And it became an addiction. I was escaping from the pressures of life. I was running from, like, challenge, if you will. And they led the escape. They gave me a place where I felt loved, whether that was authentic or not. You know what I'm saying? It was something that just pulled me away. Whenever something would bother me, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna go watch whatever, rub one out, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing for, what I'm saying. It's nothing for, at least not for me. Ain't nothing for you to be ashamed of. It's made me who I am. You don't get me today without that bullshit that I went through. You know what I'm saying? The addiction, the days of addiction. The first time turning it on, seeing it at a very young age. Growing up. You know what I mean? Wasn't supposed to see the shit, but what do you want to call it? A progressive childhood. But like that stuff, it has haunted me. It's haunted me for a very, very long time, throughout my life. I mean, it wasn't like that when I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? I was very much a late bloomer. 22 years old. That's when I started. You know what I'm saying? Getting heavily involved into that. And it was a drug. It was a high. I was chasing a feeling. And that's the whole ordeal, you know what I'm saying? It's just trying to chase a feeling. And it's the same thing that the character, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, that's his name. I finally got the shit right. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, or Joseph Levitt Gordon, whatever the fuck his name is, damn it. Him. He had this attachment, this unhealthy attachment to porn. And it fucked up his life, honestly. It really did. I mean, some aspects of my life it did too. But it shaped me into this era this area of my life, this point in my life where I can now share it and use my story for somebody else who may be dealing with the same shit, or not even realizing it's an issue. You know what I mean? I could I could easily triggered by something like cleavage or whatever it is, and it's like, oh shit, gotta go, and do something about it. It's like controlling the urge. You know what I'm saying? They got this thing, my therapist recommended to me. It's like a smart recovery workbook, and it kind of helps you recognize, like the signs and all that shit, and getting over said addiction. And it's been helpful. I can say that. Don't get me wrong. I've relapsed from time to time. It gets bad. But I can say that living, you know what I'm saying, living in my truth, living in, walking the path in which I'm on, and seeing these things, come to fruition, the stuff that I'm learning in like the Smart Recovery Workbook, like recognizing urges, has been helpful. And but like I said, I can relate to him because of like the life. He was about his family, he was about his fitness, and he was about his porn. And I would say that's what I pride myself on. You know what I'm saying? Being, trying to be there for family, staying fit, and then of course my porn, as he would say. What is it? Like I think it was a New England accent or whatever. Yeah, I gotta have my porn or whatnot. But and then lastly, that I could relate to is Elton John's character in Rocket Man. Minus the gay shit, you know what I'm saying? But as far as like that wanting, that closeness to family, just thriving for that shit, man. And find himself fucking with the emotionally available, everybody that doesn't love him, and putting up with so much turmoil because of it. Dating people that don't necessarily value you. Dating people that are getting what they want, and then once they get what they want, they move the fuck on. Like, it was interesting to see his story, and I remember sitting there in the theater, and I'm like, holy shit, I can relate to Elton John. Like, he's, just the stuff that he dealt with as far as family goes, and then, like the people that he chose to have relationships with, the emotionally unavailable. And I think a lot of us are like that. I think a lot of us chase after because it's familiar to us, chasing after people who are emotionally unavailable to us, because it reminds us of maybe our parents, and it reminds us of the type of raising that we had. Like there wasn't many hugs or love or whatever it's reminding us of is keeping us in that childlike mindset, and going towards shit that is not going to turn out the way that we want it, if you will. And it's a hard pill to swallow, but it is a pill, nevertheless, that has to be understood as, you know what I'm saying, if you're going to live the life in which you want to, if you're trying to find yourself in healthier relationships. And, if indeed a relationship is what you're looking for, you have to ask yourself, are you putting yourself on the path to get that? Because if not, then, you're just ship in the harbor without a goal, without a plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real simple. Figure out exactly what you want, and then remove everything that doesn't get you to that said goal. I mean, that's more of a Jim Rohn thing. You know what I'm saying? Jim Rohn is very big on saying that. Finding out the good ingredients and then removing the bad ingredients so that you can get the desired outcome. And some of us are attached. We have unhealthy attachments to a feeling that we get when we're around certain people, even if it's bad, even if it's not the healthiest for us. We find ourselves keep coming back to the drug. We keep coming back to the high. And eventually you wake up. Eventually you wake up and you realize that you gotta focus on you. You gotta do what's best for you. And sometimes that means without them, focusing on you. But I mean, the win-win is you in the long run. You know what I'm saying? You want to do what's best for you in the long run. And so just like I said, Elton John, Hulk, and Don John. I mean, those characters alone, they just really resonated with how different parts of my life. You know what I'm saying? Positions that I've been in my life, in the 38 years that I've lived on this earth, I've seen myself be trapped by adult content. I've seen myself chasing the emotionally unavailable. I've seen myself, being too nice and then blowing up like the Incredible Hulk. So, go through these motions, go through these moments in life, see yourself within these characters, whether they're fictitious or not, and decide what decisions that you're going to make for yourself. How are you going to better yourself as a man, for your peers, for yourself ultimately. First and foremost, you want to better yourself, and then just decide to move forward. Move forward in peace, move forward and down a healthier path, and just learn. Yeah, just truly learn how to be an effective member of society the best way possible. And it takes time. It takes time to recognize what you've been doing, how toxic it's been, how toxic you've been to others, how toxic, how much toxicity you've allowed around you. And then you grow up. Some of us do. Some of us grow up. Others, they don't recognize it. They're fine staying within the matrix. And that's okay, to each its own. But for me and mine, what I'm saying, we're going to better ourselves. So I just want to thank the creators of the Hulk, creators of Don John, and of course Elton John, bringing his biopic to life so that I could see the mirror flashed up on me so that I could be better going forward. And that's what I intend to do. Just improve and keep going forward.